Hello traders, and welcome back to my YouTube channel IPDATrader. Now in today's video we are going to be helping a little bit those of you who are actually interested in scalping, right? Which I believe it may be rather the majority of you guys. So we're going to be going over a scalping approach, strategy, whatever you want to call it. I am going to be giving you specific time frames, how you're going to be using those specific time frames, and how you can essentially profit out of trading smart money concepts as a scalper, right? Because really scalping, like anything in life, has advantages and disadvantages, right? One advantage obviously is that you're going to have your outcome sooner than somebody who is actually swinging the market, right? A disadvantage is that you may be presented with too many opportunities in a given time, and that may cause confusion, right? But I do believe that this video is going to be very helpful if you're interested in actually learning how to scalp using smart money concepts. So this is what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be going to a random pair. I'm going to be giving you the different time frames and rules, and then we're going to be looking at setting up a potential example of a future trade that may be lining up using this scalping strategy or approach that I'm going to be teaching you guys today in this video. Nonetheless, before we get into it, I would like to mention that you will need some knowledge in terms of understanding a little bit of the Asian range, understanding a little bit of the timing in the markets, meaning when is there usually volume, when are certain markets opening and closing, things like that. That's definitely going to make you a better trader overall, and even if you're not scalping, you may want to understand that. But for this specific video, it is going to be required that you have some information of that sort. So with all that being said, guys, if this sounds like something you want to learn today, make sure you stick to the entire video, because I'm going to be trying my best to provide you with the scalping approach and strategy. So let's get started with today's video. Okay guys, so very straightforward. We're gonna be jumping into a random pair. Once again, I'm just gonna scroll up and down and I'm gonna pick any market over here. As you guys know, these are the markets that I trade. As you can see, based on my drawings, these are the markets that I'm paying attention to. So we're gonna be looking at something that I usually don't trade, but this will apply to every single market. So with that being said, let's actually do that. Let's do this. AUD and CD. Awesome. You can see why I don't trade this pair. You can see the movement, but it's fine, right? We're just going to be applying, let's get rid of this, the ideas and setting up a potential trade expectation based on the scalping rules, right? So the very first thing that I want you to understand is that if you're looking to scalp, there will be plenty of opportunities pretty much day in and day out. And that can cause some problems in your trading, right? Because some particular days, the market will not be conducive to whatever it is that your approach is. And if you don't stop relatively quickly, you will essentially be digging yourselves in a hole. And for that reason is why I want to emphasize first that you have to have some sort of limit threshold for the day, meaning I lose 3% in a given day, I'm out. I reach 3% profit in a day, I'm out, right? And it's not for me to decide what this number should be for you, but I just want to make very clear that you have to have some sort of threshold that if you do reach, whether that is in the positive or in the negative, you will have to stop. It's going to protect you, and it's going to essentially remove lots of emotional issues that you may have in your trading, right? So understand this idea extremely well. So into the strategy approach, once again, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be working, since you're going to be looking to scalp the market, meaning you want to get in and out rather quickly. You're going to be using, starting from the 1 hour as your highest time frame, down till the 1 minute. I would not suggest going lower than this, but once again, you're free to do whatever you want. Nonetheless, this is what I suggest. Okay, you're gonna be focusing from the 1 hour to the 1 minute. You're not gonna worry about the 4 hour. You're not gonna look up at the daily. You are scalping. You're looking for lower time frame structure analysis and things of that nature. So it's gonna be the very same approach that I would have on a higher time frame. It's just going to be adjusted to the lower time frame. Okay, so when we talk about the 1 hour till the 30 minute, right, every single time frame between, you can have the 45 minutes, 30 minutes. These specific time frames are going to be used to determine your structure plus narrative. Okay, this is what you want to do. You're going to be using the 1 hour, the 45 minute, and the 30 minute to gauge your structure and narrative. And do not worry, we're going to be getting into the example as soon as I finish giving you the different time frames. Okay, so that's step number one. You want to focus on the 1 hour till the 30 minute for your structure and narrative analysis. Now, when we go lower than that, you can say the 25 minutes if you have access to that, which you will have if you actually use the paid subscription in your trading view. But once again, not necessary. Till the 5 minutes, you're going to be focusing on POI selection. This is all you're going to be looking for within those time frames. Okay, POI selection is going to be your step number 2. And lastly, over here, you're going to be looking at your 1 minute till the 4 minute. You can say it's going to be your confirmation trigger time frame. This is where you're going to be putting your attention in order to execute your scalps, right? And understand that you're scalping, and therefore your mentality should not be, I'm going to be holding this position forever. Should rather be, I want to make money, get in and get out. Okay, but let's get into the stuff over here. So let's do step number 1 with this market over here. Okay, what I want you to understand is that since you're scalping, you're going to be focusing on the recent price action, right? You're not going to worry, even though you can gauge a little bit of what's happening over here, right? And that makes sense. But you're going to be focusing on what's presented to you in that given session, okay? And you want to apply a little bit of your Asian range ideas and time market timing ideas as well. That's going to help you. It's not required. It's just going to make your trades somewhat better. So let's look at this and let's try to gauge the structure. Okay, so I will go into the 30 minutes. I will see the following. So I see 2 sets of Asian range in front of me. Once again, I'm not worried about all this. And what I do see is that we had this mitigation. You can see this candle. Let's do this. You can see this candle tapped into this block, moved up, caused a new break of structure to the upside, right? So in this particular case, right, you're not going to worry about anything else. You can say that your most recent break is to the upside, therefore you're in a bullish market, and this is how you're going to get your narrative, right, and your structure. You can say that this is my most recent break to the upside. You can fit the leg from bottom to top, right over here. And now this is your higher time frame narrative and structure. You can say in this particular case, with this information given to you, since you're looking to trade now, you want to be focusing on what's given to you right now. Once again, this is my most recent break to the upside. Therefore, my structure is bullish and my narrative is probably that we're going to retrace and continue going further up, right? And you can see the market is moving. So with that being said, that would be your step number 1 within the strategy, right? You just went through the different time frames. You understood that you want to focus on the recent price action, and you understood that your structure is bullish based on this previous mitigation, right? You manipulated a beautiful Asian range to then take the high and essentially mitigated this block over here, which led into this market moving higher and creating a new higher high. Great, we understand that. We now are going to be moving on into understanding the POI section of the approach. So I would go into a 15-minute and I would look for some sort of order block, POI, whatever it is that you want to call. You want to always determine your origin. This is so important. Not many people would do that. You want to determine your origin and you want to look for POIs that are well discounted, right? In this case, this wick over here is particularly interesting to me. Right over here, the origin, this POI, one could argue that this one below the 61 may also be valid. And these are going to be your POIs for the day, right? This is all you do. It's not complicated, guys. You can also see that we did have some liquidity over here, which is pretty good. So that's fine. And we understand that these are now our POIs for the day. You're not focused on what everybody else is doing. You're focused on yourself and you're understanding your approach. You understand that I want to be scalping. And if I want to do that, I'm going to be focusing on the 15-minute for the most part. And I'm going to be looking to select several POIs over here. Depending on how you want to do things, you can say, I do not care what happens over here. I'm going to expect this all to be taken out as liquidity, and I'm just going to wait for this, right? You can do that too, but that's going to mean that sometimes you're going to lose trades as price does something of this sort, right? So that's step number 2 completed. You have your POI selected. Once again, it's very simple. You're going to look for the impulse that broke structure to the upside. You're going to try to pair this with your Asian range. You're going to try to pair this with your market timing. When we talk about market timing, you want to be executing at POIs when there's volume. You don't want to be looking to trade when the market is moving very slow and very quiet and there's not really much happening. You want to try to see if we can mitigate this block. Now, when we talk about Monday, being Friday now, and knowing that the weekend is just going to begin in a little and the markets are going to close, you want to understand that Monday, you want to see this mitigation on London. You can say that to yourself, London mitigation. Right? And therefore, you should be coming to the charts when there's volume. And this is just an anticipation. This can happen during Frankfurt, can happen during New York, it can happen during the Asian. It's going to be fine, right? So that being said, now we understand the POI selection. Let's talk about confirmation. And we're going to be making it very simple, right? You can see the POI selected over here are origins, blocks that mitigated previous blocks over here, as you can see, right? So you're looking for a little bit of a higher probability, right? Since you're scalping right over here. For your confirmation, you want to look for manipulation and reversal, which is a concept that is taught in my YouTube channel. The video is, that's the title right there, manipulation plus reversal, which is, let's say price makes it into the origin, when you're going to be looking for a manipulation and break, right? Manipulation, maybe in the form of consolidation, quick spike below, break up. This is your confirmation. Now you know that you're valid for longs. Whether you want to take it at the top of the range and go long, or you want to take it at the origin for a better RR and go long, that's completely up to you. But the key idea here is that you want to look for confirmation, right? It is very important. And as I said before, I suggest you go with the manipulation and reversal approach, meaning that if price consolidates and starts breaking up, but there has been no manipulation, you don't want to be long here. You don't, because you're going to get taken out. High probability, right? You need to see that manipulation first. And as I said before, most often than not, you will see a consolidation if this is the POI that's actually going to hold. Once again, we never really know, but if this is the POI that's going to hold, you want to see that manipulation first, maybe a spike through the lows and a breakup. A single break, it's going to be fine. You're going to be looking for this to happen. And now, in terms of targeting, you have to remember that you're looking at the lower time frame. You have no idea about the higher time frame. Therefore, I would suggest you stick to a 1 to 2 RR close whatever you want to close, whether that is 50%, 70, 80, 90, 40, don't care. Look for a 1 to 2 RR, secure yourself at that point, move to break even, and let the position run to whatever it wants to run at that point. And it's a very consistent and very simple approach that you can take to actually managing your positions, right? Look for a 1 to 2 RR, secure and protect yourself at that point. It is very straightforward. This is a scalping strategy that will allow you to enter many trades in a given day, especially if you're looking at 3 to 4 markets. Would not suggest going above that. There's really no need. But understand, right? And you're free, once again, in terms of POI selection, you can refine blocks, right? Everything that I teach in this channel still applies. You can refine areas that you want to see tapped and things of that nature, right? Just to summarize it all up, guys, very, very simple. Once again, let's bring this a little bit further down. Let's repeat it just for clarification purposes. From the 1 hour till the 30-minute time frame, you're looking for your structure. In this particular case, we did it very simply. We understood that this mitigated this previous block and went ahead and broke structure to the upside, creating a new high based on the information that is given to me at this point. Number 2, POI selection. We zoomed in to a little bit of the lower time frames and we identified POI structures, which are very simple to do. Order block over here, FE over here, liquidity over here, discounted areas below this line. Very simple. Step number 3, we're going to wait for a confirmation. As I said before, you want to see a manipulation. You want to see people getting trapped before you look to take the opposite trade, because the market will not move if there has not been manipulation, right? You'll most often than not see that in the form of consolidation, spike down, initiate shorts, right? Short people that went short over here as price moves up are now in a drawdown. So this is where you know that volume has been trapped and that you can now take the opposite trade. And you're going to be waiting for a break, that manipulation, and a retracement. Whether you want to buy up the 50% of the leg, that's going to guarantee you're going to get in the trade most of the times. But that's also going to mean that you may experience drawdown and essentially, yeah, you may experience drawdown, right? But it's going to guarantee you that you're very likely to get into the trades. Now, if you wait for 78, 81, things like that, very close to the origin, it's going to give you a better RR, and it's going to mean that there is a higher probability that you're going to miss the move if price will not make it there, and it's instead just ready to push in the opposite direction. So with all that being said, guys, I think this was extremely clear and useful. As you can see, you do not have to complicate it. I just went through the very basics of smart money, understanding a little bit of the structure, POI, and confirmations. And once again, this you want to pair it with market timing and Asian range, meaning I'm not going to be taking this trade even if it lines up on a Friday afternoon, right? As an example, you don't want to be doing that. You want to make sure you're trading when there's volume, when the market's moving and things are in motion, right? You want to put yourself in that position to win. So now, with all that being said, guys, thank you very much for listening. I really do hope this strategy, which is a scalping strategy, made sense to you. And yeah, with all that being said, guys, feel free to drop your comments in the comment section below. I will gladly go through that. Leave a like if you actually enjoyed, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care, everybody.